Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the Android Cell Saga Super Battle Road stage. So in this Super Battle Road stage, obviously trying to make a pretty friendly team, so we're not going to be using the LR Cell. We're going to be using a mixture of free-to-play units. So we're going to use the Time Traveler support memory, mainly because a lot of our strongest units are Time Traveler units, and that's really going to help us out. In terms of our lead, we have the second form cell. So he is a Android Cell Saga 130% lead unit. He has defense of 80% with an additional attack and defense of 180% when performing a super attack. He has a chance of performing a critical hit plus 18% and reduces damage received by 18% when there is a Android Cell Saga category enemy. He has a high chance of stunning all enemies when there's an enemy whose name includes Android in their name. And we also have an Android Cell Saga category extreme class allies, key plus 3 and attack and defense of 40%. Our team is mainly going to be extreme class allies, so he's going to be pretty helpful overall. We're going to be linking him up with the friend unit that we're going to be taking, which is the true value of perfect form cell. He is an Android Cell Saga lead of 150% attack and HP and 170% defense. He greatly lowers defense and greatly raises his attack on his 18 key, and he also has attack and defense of 80% plus raises his defense by 80% with more HP remaining. He has an additional key plus 1 and attack of 20% when or per existing enemies. He will evolve when conditions are met. He will evolve when your HP is below 30%, and when he evolves he will become Perfect Cell. In the Perfect Cell form, he is a much better single target unit that lowers or massively lowers attack and defense in his 18 key, fully recovers your health, has key plus 4 and attack and defense of 120%, with attack and defense of 20% with 4 or more key spheres obtained, and an additional attack and defense of 20% with 6 or more key spheres obtained, and an additional attack with 8 or more key spheres obtained. As you can see, we kind of went through the first stage pretty well. It's not too difficult because we obviously have a pretty solid lineup. The cell's going to do a lot of damage, the int cell, so he's going to do most of our damage work for us, and that's going to enable us to have a very decent time overall with the rest of the units. Now, of course, with the other units, we have 2 free-to-play units. So we have Strength Android 18 Future, and we have Tech Android 17 Future. Now both of them are pretty good. Android 18 has a medium chance of evasion, and of course they both fire off additional super attacks, which is pretty nice. And the Tech Android 17 has the ability to fire off more attacks, so he can fire off 3 attacks in a turn, which is pretty damn good overall. Our strategy here is to mainly focus down 1 or 2 enemies, thus enabling us to really close down the pool of units that we are facing. We have the Int Goku, or the Int Yardrat Goku. He's going to be pretty good for us. So he's an interesting unit that has kind of various abilities, but we're going to mainly focus on him as a floating unit. That's going to enable us to utilize his stun, and when he's in the second or third slot, he also reduces damage received by 59% from normal attacks, and he will counter. So he can be pretty damn good. We're going to leave him in the third slot. That's where we're going to see the best out of him, at least for this team. And we're going to be able to get him to do some pretty decent damage while also providing a stun from time to time, which is very, very helpful. Obviously, we take quite a bit of damage here, but we are very lucky in that we manage to essentially have all the right units in all the right places afterwards, which does help us quite a bit. We have the AGL Android 17 and 18 LR. These guys are very, very good. They bring a lot to the table, in terms of their supporting abilities and in terms of their debuffing abilities. So obviously with their EZA, they're a lot better. They greatly raise their attack and defense, which helps, and they also lower attack and defense of the enemy, which is very, very helpful. They have attack and defense of 78% when performing a super attack, and they give extreme class allies a 50% defensive buff. They also have an additional attack of 78% when they are fighting a superclass enemy, but we're not really going to be fighting too many of those, as the stage itself is very much extreme enemy orientated. We're mainly fighting extreme enemies. That is usually what's happening here. We don't necessarily have the absolute best time overall against other enemies. But yeah, that is pretty much the focus here. We have a pretty solid time against most of these units. Cell is a very good unit. I think he's still, Trunks is pretty good. Trunks would still probably be better, but for our team build, because we're relying on the second form Cell as our lead, and he really does kind of need this first form Cell to kind of sit with him in that second slot. We're going to mainly focus on using the the perfect Cell, because he's really going to be a good combination for us. He's going to do a lot of good work, and we are going to be really helped out by him. Now the final unit for our team, the final unit that's pretty decent for our team, is the other Strength Android 18. Now that Strength Android 18 is pretty solid. So if we take a look at her, she has attack and defense of 18% per Android category ally on the team. The whole team is androids except for Goku, so she's got a pretty decent amount. She gains attack and defense of plus 18% with each attack performed, or allies key plus 2 and attack and defense of 18%. She has a android's category allies buff of key plus 1 and an additional 18%, and she has the ability to launch an additional super attack when there is a android's category unit attacking in the same turn. So again, she's going to be able to fire off additional super attacks, really going to help us by debuffing the enemy, really going to help us get control of the situation, and realistically just fire off a whole bunch of super attacks and really just control what's going on at any given point in time. So very good performance, very nice stuff from Android 18. Very, very solid overall, and yeah, just a unit that we can rely on to do some really good work and to really bring everything together. Super duper solid unit, very, very impressive. And then yeah, so now we're in the final stage. Here we are fighting multiple enemies. So getting your Dokkan attack here would have been very, very good and will help us out. We're not going to be able to actually get there in any reasonable time, just because obviously we're not really in that kind of situation. But a really cool thing is that the Cell is quite powerful. What you want to do is try and focus on taking out some of these Cell juniors as quickly as possible. That's generally the tactic I go with. I find that it's the best way. If you can take out a couple of them, your risk of getting hit by a super attack along the way, or by a sneaky super attack, is dramatically reduced, and that does help us out quite a lot. We don't want to get hit by sneaky super attacks. They're not good for us, they're not great, and yeah, if we can take out a couple of these cells, we'll be able to control things quite nicely. Of course, if we debuff Perfect Cell as well, that also helps us out, because he is AGL type, and we do actually have 3 strength units, so we do need to keep him somewhat controlled as best we can. That's really going to help us out overall. Unfortunately, there's no androids named units in this stage, so that doesn't really help us out. But we have plenty of items saved from the previous stages, so we're just going to kind of spam items to stay safe, and just let us build up stacks and get our units set up. Remember, the Android 17 and 18 future will also build up stacks as they super attack, so they're going to stay pretty solid overall and pretty powerful. They're going to be very, very solid units. They're going to continue to build, and that's really going to help them out overall. In terms of alternative team builds for this stage, I'm not entirely certain on what you'd want to run. There's a couple good alternative teams. I mean, you can run, for example, you can run a very Trunks focused team. You can run, the Trunks. You can run the Fate Changing Messenger Trunks team alongside the LR Prime Battle Trunks, both exceptional units. You can run the Super Physical Trunks. You can run the Strength Trunks. You can run both Team Gohans. You've got the Gohan and Trunks unit. You've got a very good super team that you can run here. Future Int Gohan, very, very solid. You've got Android 16. You've got Krillin. So there's a lot of really, really solid units. Krillin being a super good free-to-play option overall that we'll probably utilize at some point to do a full free-to-play run. obviously for my free-to-play based challenge. So there's quite a lot of decent options here that you can utilize. So yeah, definitely some good options. But yeah, I would 100% say that, you know, in terms of team build, I think an extreme focused one is the best. Unless you have Trunks. Trunks will clean up everything very, very easily. Trunks will do a lot of great damage. He really has good, solid defense. So yeah, you don't need to worry too much. You know, Trunks will do a lot of good work overall. So yeah, for me, a Trunks-led team is very, very solid. And you shouldn't really have too many issues overall. Obviously, now that we've managed to kind of get them all low, there's a little bit of a concern that, you know, they might all super us. That is just something that can happen. But we are stacking items really, really well, which does help. We are stacking items consistently. We have plenty left over from the first 2 rounds because we managed them so well. So yeah, we're just using that to our advantage, managing to whittle down the Cell Juniors, managing to really set things up. Which is good because you want to have all that set up, you want to be on top of things, and the moment you start whittling down the Cell Juniors, it becomes a lot more manageable. You manage to really take them out. You can start to keep multiple enemies attack load with your Android 18, your Android 17 and 18 units. You can do a lot. You can really control the battlefield quite a bit, which obviously does help. And you can see we're playing it super safe, using the items, using them consistently, not really being too concerned about like item usage. This isn't a no item run. This is supposed to be quite a friendly, free-to-play kind of focused team, and yeah, it's quite a good stage. But yeah, definitely good free-to-play options for the Android Cell Saga category. Obviously, we just got a whole bunch of buffs with the Trunks units and the Future Gohan units. So you've got units like the physical Future Gohan unit, you've got units like the AGL Trunks and Gohan unit, you've got plenty of really awesome options that you can run, that you can utilize, that will get the job done. So yeah, for me, you don't really have to worry. You can be 100% fully focused on what's happening. You'll be more than fine, and you shouldn't really struggle too much. You should be relatively safe in terms of team build here. But yeah, we handled everything perfectly fine, nothing too crazy, and the stage went down really well. Really happy with our team build. I did have to reset once before filming this video, so there is the odd chance that you can't get set up, but once you're set up, it's a very, very powerful team that really does the business. So yeah, that's it. We got the reward. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, or leave a comment, and I will try and reply back and get back to you. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. It's really, really appreciated. And of course, I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.